I guess those bikini pics and half-naked videos that Angel Reese puts on social media, I guess that's not translating on television into ratings. Strange.
From her very first game, Reese's characteristic intransigence and resistance to change were evident, forcing head coach Nola Henry to bench her. However, what specifically caused that decision?
Of a league is an unrivaled success, when the reality is, it's an unrivaled, huge, embarrassing failure.
When head coach Nola Henry benched Reese for displaying her characteristic intransigence and inability to change, her first game took an unexpected turn. These were the moments that cemented her fate on the bench.
So Angel Reese was 3 of 7 from the field.
Reese's debut swiftly fell apart due to her dubious choices and inability to keep up with a fast-paced game, which led head coach Nola Henry to bench her. However, one particular error proved to be the last straw.
Percent mark, 5 turnovers, 14 rebounds, 10 points, and a big, fat, juicy L. 79-73, her team lost the...
Head coach Nola Henry benched Reese when her performance took a concerning turn, and it seemed she was purposefully hurting her own team. What caused this sudden actions?
What the hell that is. By the way, in case you're wondering, yes, Angel Reese is getting absolutely roasted. Her fans, though, her fans are out in droves. Seriously. They are celebrating this very mid that she actually made last night. They're trying to claim that this proves she's been in the gym. And congratulations, she hit it.
Many people expected Angel to be the next major star when she made her much-awaited return to the top basketball league, but she left in shame and her name was destroyed. What went wrong with her comeback?
I thought Angel Reese was a mainstream celebrity. I mean, that's what the media keeps telling me, so how come Angel Reese consistently fails to draw?
The catastrophic collapse revealed Reese for what she really is, a hype-filled, shallow person. What impact did this revelation have on her reputation inside the team?
Rose, BC head coach, Nola Henry. I know she's a very smart lady. She knows what she's doing. I think, there are some things she needs to clean.
No one was better at dropping microphones than head coach Nola Henry, who made the startling decision to bench Angel Reese in the fourth quarter. Yes, you read correctly, when her team most needed her. Talk about humiliation at that moment.
She's absolutely delivering on that double-double. That's right, points, rebounds, and of course...
When someone benched you for figures like those, you've reached your lowest moment. But let's not place all the blame on Nola. Steven's stop line was a punch line in and of itself, with 8 rebounds and 6 points. In an effort to make her box score appear respectable, Henry Reese provided her every excuse to disconnect. Even though Reese managed to scrounge together 10 points, let's be clear that context is essential. Her 4 assists and 14 rebounds were nothing more than empty calories, the basketball equivalent of eating chips when your team needs a full, balanced meal. Reese just wasn't able to perform at the level required in games with a lot of pressure.
Finished with a Rose's team-high 14 rebounds, 5 turnovers, 4 fouls, shot just 3 of 7 from the field, 42%, got benched for most of the fourth.
Howard was out there playing chess, while Reese was having trouble with the fundamentals. Howard's 33 points were a statement in and of themselves, with 50% of deep coming up with clutch play after clutch play that showed the world what a true star looks like. Meanwhile, Reese couldn't even nail the fundamentals. She missed layups, played sloppy defense, and, let's not forget, she made an embarrassing fall during a block attempt. Whether it was a fall or not is up for debate, but let's face it, it wouldn't have mattered because she was out of position and out of her depth, and that one play summed up her entire night, which was a mix of failure and desperation.
Someone said she's a below-average passer. She's a terrible passer, but she's trying. You can see, her vision's there. You can see what passes she's trying to make.
Angel Reese, who entered the league on the strength of her college success, isn't ready for it. The Premier Basketball League isn't interested in her overhyped antics. Players like Howard, who dominate in these major leagues, they lead the bench in addition to playing. If she doesn't improve fast, Reese, who warmed up in the fourth quarter, might end up making this her permanent home. Reese isn't merely attempting to keep up her form. Her debut wasn't a blunder. Rather, it was a nosedive.
One of the few, maybe the only one I could tell that looks this way on the court, just like out of place playing a game they've been playing.
Let's be honest. Angel Reese wanted to sweep the floor when she joined the league riding high on her college success, but reality set in, and she ended up in the midst of a basketball nightmare with head coach Nola. Critics have attacked Henry for benching Reese, her alleged best player, during the most important parts of the game. But can we really hold her accountable? According to Ree, the league's alleged future star was as helpful as a submarine screen door. Like it's still the nines, Reese is trapped playing archaic basketball with antiquated post plays and physicality. It's like handing someone a smartphone and watching them attempt to use it as a pager. Henry oversees a high-energy, fast-paced system that calls for dexterity and rapid thinking. Reese struggled with something, and her benching wasn't an error. Rather, it was a last-ditch attempt to save the game. Meanwhile, Reyes was out of sync and out of her depth. And yes, she was pulled out of the action in the fourth quarter. Speaking of disaster, Rose BC's off was a complete mess, with over 15 turnovers that gave the impression that they were playing a chaotic game of hot potato. Henry shares some of the blame for offensive tactics that appeared hurriedly put together, but let's not overlook Ree for a player who is hailed as a possible MVP. She appeared to have never seen a basketball court before, and it was obvious that she didn't belong there. Henry's benching wasn't arbitrary. Rather, it was a neon sign that said, "You're not cutting it." Reyes may be skilled at grabbing rebounds, but she's as effective as a chocolate teapot when it comes to having a meaningful impact. Meanwhile, Wilson for the Indiana Fever wasn't playing catch-up, but she also didn't have a flawless game. However, Reyes spent the evening boasting about her performance on social media, which backfired. Amazingly, Angel Reese wrote a heartfelt note to X following the game, saying she loved her former coach Teresa Weatherspoon and that she didn't deserve the predicament she was in. However, let's face it, professional basketball doesn't give a damn about sentimental messages. What's next for Reese? She became so engrossed in her emotions that she was unable to concentrate on the game, while Ryan Howard and Vinyl BC were busy delivering the harsh truth. Reese was too busy posting love letters, while Weatherspoon's Vinyl BC crew was circling around Rose BC, taking advantage of her every mistake. It's almost poetic that the coach Reese looked up to was the one planning her downfall. Watching Reese struggle, you could assume you're witnessing a young giraffe attempting to walk awkwardly and uncoordinatedly. The idea that someone who appears so unpolished might be a professional athlete on paper is startling. At the end of the day, Ree was benched instead of stepping up, and that's all anyone will remember about her debut. This was supposed to be her breakout moment, her chance to show the league that she was ready to dominate, but instead it turned into a public humiliation. 10 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 assists may sound impressive, but they don't capture the true impact she had on the game. This isn't just a bad game, it's a wake-up call. While Ryan Howard is solidifying her superstar status, Reese is struggling to stay relevant. The gap between them isn't just wide, it's an abyss. If Reese doesn't step up to the plate, she might find herself forgotten and fading further into irrelevance. This wasn't just a loss. It was a humiliating reality check, and an anguishing Reese is the perfect example of what happens when exaggeration collides with stark reality. Remembering Caitlin Clark made a wise decision by declining to become involved in this disaster. TNT pleaded with her to come, even offering more than $1 million for. After only 2 months, what will happen to Reese? She isn't the player that everyone anticipated, and this should be a caution. Before reality hits you, hype can only take you so far. If she doesn't figure it out right away, it won't just be a benching, it will be total obscurity.